Hello YouTube, this is TioPrice667, and after my long hiatus on this channel, I wanted to come back and start doing this little series that came to my mind after watching OJ Albina doing his similar series on tier listing Pokemon from each gen and how they do in Draft League. So I wanted to do something similar, but instead of doing Draft League overall, I wanted to do Little Cup since I'm a lot more knowledgeable in Little Cup than I am in general Draft League. I'm one of the more knowledgeable Little Cup players within Draft League as a whole, and that's mostly because of how much I've played it over these years, as well as like how much I've contributed to this gen, both in tiering and in playing as well, and discovering meta as well as new Pokemon to use, that sort of thing. So I think I have a pretty good handle of how Draft Little Cup is for a lot of these Pokemon. And so I wanted to do a little bit of a tier list based on how much I value using it based on its points values. So this isn't going off of a tier list of, okay, since this mon is higher tiered, this is a better use. This is more on how I would use, like how much I look forward to drafting it based on where it's tiered. So some stuff might be tiered lower, but I always view it as like a good low value pick, so I would tier it higher. And some things may be tiered higher, but I don't really view it as a good value pick, so I would tier it lower, and that sort of thing. First and foremost, this is my personal opinion. I have some heated takes for some Little Cup mons, but this is my personal opinion based on like my experience in both seeing use as well as using these Pokemon. So I think there is some truth in how I tier these, but overall it's still a matter of opinion. So if you guys think that some Pokemon deserve to be higher tiered or lower tiered, do let me know in the comments. And yeah, so getting into it, first and foremost, Gen 1 Pokemon. I will start with Bulbasaur. Now, Bulbasaur is, you draft it with Sun, and pretty much only Sun. However, it is the best Sun Sweeper by a country mile. It outpaces Bellsprout and Cherubi rather well, as well as like any other niche Sun Sweeper such as Execute. So, with all that being said, I would still put it in like B tier. I think early on, like early meta Sun was very huge, very hard to stop, and like kind of dominated. But as like the meta's gone on, people have become a lot better in figuring out how to stop Sun. So I think that kind of knocks Bulbasaur down a little bit. So I would stick it in B tier. I think Sun overall is still a good meta, but you would never want to draft Bulbasaur outside of Sun. So it kind of just like sticks it as like Sun only mon, and then also it is tiered really high based off of the fact that it is the best chlorophyll sweeper. Next we have Charmander. Charmander, similar thing as Bulbasaur, is like it's a Sun Pokemon. I'm putting it in D tier. It can sweep. It does have the potential on like Sun teams to like just really break through. The biggest issue I have with Charmander is you have to draft it with Vulpix, and it has the exact same issues that Vulpix has. So you have two Pokemon that are going to get completely walled by the exact same things and just do the exact same things, so they just don't really help each other out in any way. It can be like a Dragon Dance sweeper as well if you like feel like it outside the Sun, but it also isn't a great one in that regard. It's fire typing though, great offensively, really hurts it defensively, as is a Rock's weakness, and Boots isn't that great within Little Cup. So going overall, I just think it's not that great. Next we have Squirtle. I'm putting Squirtle in C tier. I know I will catch a lot of flack for this. Squirtle is great at many things, don't get me wrong. It is a jack of all trades. The biggest issue with Squirtle is it's a master of none. So Squirtle could be a Shell Smash Sweeper, yes, but there's always better Shell Smash Sweepers. Squirtle can be a bulky water pivot, yes, but there are way better bulky water pivots. Squirtle can be a good rapid spinner, but once again, there are way better rapid spinners. So The biggest issue that Squirtle has is like, yes, it can roll compress, but at the same time, it's not doing anything super well, and you can just take a Pokemon that's better than Squirtle in like these certain areas, especially for the price point that Squirtle is. Squirtle's like kind of a high, like mid to high tier price point, anywhere between like 9 to like 11, 12 points. So I just think there are way better bulkier water types you could take, or Shell Smashers or Rapid Spinners. Now, the beauty of a Squirtle is it can do any of those things, but once again, it just doesn't do any of them really well, particularly well. That's why I have it so low. Caterpie, Weedle, honestly, they're just, you know, like low tier, like 1-2 pointers that don't really have like great moves. Bad typing, really slow. It's just not, there's no point in drafting these unless it's like, you know, meme pick, 8th pick, and you only have like 1 or 2 points left. Might as well just draft whatever crap you can at the bottom of the barrel. So that's very much what those two are. Pidgey, honestly, also D tier, is just power crept really poorly, like really terribly at this point. There's just way better birds throughout like the tier list that you can pick up. It's a low tier Pokemon, like 4 or 5 points. It's just like so many things within those like values bird wise as well that could do the same thing but a little bit better than Pidgey, which is kind of why I have it that low. Next we have Rattata. I would put Rattata, I think, like B tier. Rattata is a great value as like a mid tier level, like 6-7 points, maybe 8 sometimes, because it can hit really hard with both Hustle and Guts sets. Guts more like if you're like, Guts is more niche on like if you're facing someone who like likes to spam Will-O-Wisp, or they have Flame Body as one their Pokemon, or Static or whatever. Then Rattata could be great there in that regard. But outside of that, it's I think it's just a good value for its point. It can clean up, it can hit really hard, break, clean up, that sort of thing. The issue is you're depending on Hustle. Same thing with Alolan Rattata, but I wouldn't put Alolan Rattata a little bit higher because of its dark typing. Giving it that extra dark stab, which is huge within Little Cup, as dark typing is like one of the best types within Little Cup itself. So having a mon that can be like stab and hit really hard with Hustle move, like with Hustle, like Sucker Punch and stuff, makes Alolan Rattata very valuable. Once again, the issue is Hustle itself, but I think overall Rattata is a great value pick for where it's priced usually. So I do think Alolan Rattata would be a great pickup. Next we have Spearow. I put Spearow in C tier. Now, like in like previous generations, I would have Spearow rated higher. The issue is a lot more of the lower tier bird Pokemon got access to Brave Bird, and Spearow still doesn't have access to that move for some reason, so it is stuck running Drill Pick plus Drill Run. So like having access to Drill Run does make it better than Pidgey in that regard, so like it can deal great damage to electric types. And like Drill Peck is still a valuable stab move. It's just not Brave Bird, so it kind of just like still keeps it on the lower end. But I still think over Pidgey, I would take it. It's still like, you know, it's around the same price point as Pidgey, but a little bit better than Pidgey. Next we have Ekans. I think Ekans is the first S tier mon. Access to Intimidate, Shed Skin, Glare, and now Knockoff. It makes Ekans an amazing poison type. Really good on dealing with fighting types, and as well as like just like spreading knocks, spreading paralysis, which is huge in Little Cup. Especially once a mon gets paralyzed, it's slower than pretty much the whole meta outside of like the very, very slow Pokemon like Munchlax or Ferroseed or that sort of thing. So just overall amazing utility, and now with access to Knock just makes it so much better. And it's still like, its price point's what, like 9, 10, 11 points usually. I think it's like a great value pick for that, so I would definitely be like looking out to like pick up Ekans sometimes in like a Little Cup draft. Next we have Sandshrew. I think Sandshrew is better than Ekans, but also S tier. Sandshrew is like the premier rock setter slash spinner in the tier. It's ground typing. It has great defensive bulk. Its special defense, nothing to write home about. But its regular defense means it can come in versus any physical attacker, be able to chew a hit, can berry juice back to full, can chew a couple hits with a Violite, can click knockoff, can set up rocks, can spin, click really powerful earthquakes. It can be like a cheesy little Sand Rush Swords Dance set, or like Swords Dance Rapid Spin as well, since Rapid Spin boosts speed, and speed is huge within Low Cup as everything is so congested. Honestly, just a great Pokemon overall. We have Alolan Sandshrew. I would place Alolan Sandshrew, I think, same tier as Bulbasaur. I would place it lower since Snow isn't as good as Sun, but the difference between Alolan Sandshrew and Bulbasaur is in Snow, there are no good Snow Sweepers outside of Alolan Sandshrew. Cubchoo doesn't count as a Pokemon. And in Sun, there are other Sun Sweepers outside of Bulbasaur like Bellsprout or Cherubi, though Bulbasaur is like the best one, bar none. Alolan Sandshrew is just... The difference between Alolan Sandshrew and Cubchoo is a lot wider of a gap than Bulbasaur than, say, Bellsprout. So that's sort of why I would have Alolan Sandshrew like in the same tier as Bulbasaur. If you're drafting Snow, then you definitely need Alolan Sandshrew. So that's why I have it there. But once again, I don't think Snow is as good as Sun. Nidoran female. It's Hustle, but bad Hustle, as in like its attack stat is so poor that Hustle isn't helping it at all. And that's why even at like low price of 2 or 3 points, it's never worth drafting, because it just takes up a slot. Now Nidoran male though, I would definitely draft it a lot of the times. So like if I have like a couple points left and Nidoran male is available, I would usually take it, because it has the attack set to really to be boosted by Hustle and actually do something. And once again, like poison typing, good typing, poison point can be annoying, and that sort of thing. So yeah. Next up we have regular Vulpix. I would put regular Vulpix in A. Sun is still a great meta, and it is the only Sun setter in the game. So if you want to run Sun, you have to draft Vulpix. Bulbasaur is like, you have other Sun Sweepers you could take, but Vulpix is the only Sun setter in game. So that's why it is this high up comparatively. Overall though, like Vulpix does run into the same issues as I discussed with Charmander. But the thing is, I would actually... Charmander you should really never take with Sun, and Vulpix you need to take with Sun sort of thing, so yeah. Next we have Alolan Vulpix. I'm putting Alolan Vulpix in C. It hurts me to put it in C. I think I would put it's definitely like high C tier, maybe low B, but it is a great snow setter. The issue is that Snover is just better at setting snow. The thing, you would draft Alolan Vulpix really only for fast screens. Would be like the only reason you would draft Alolan Vulpix over Snover, because Alolan Vulpix struggles to hit water types really well. I mean, it does get Freeze Dry, but it's not like doing a lot of damage to water types. It's not hitting fire types at all. It's not really hitting ice types. Honestly, its coverage is ice moves and Moonblast and Extra Sentry. I think that is Alolan Vulpix's coverage in general. So it's struggling against so many types, because there's a lot of types that can kind of just come in and shake off those moves. So it's just very awkward to fit on Snow, because you want something that can at least handle or do some amount of damage to the stuff that Alolan Sandshrew is not breaking through. So Alolan Vulpix just doesn't really provide that. So it's just kind of stuck there. But honestly, actually, I would put it maybe low B, because it is fast screens. It's 17 speed screens, so it is the fastest snow setter to get screens up. Also, Snow, like, setting up Snow, and you want to be kind of slower if you're not really worried about setting screens as a Snow Slayer, because if you're facing against, like, regular Vulpix, you want to underspeed it so that your weather always wins out if they come in at the same time. Next, we have Zubat. Zubat, similar thing to Spearow, as in, like, earlier gens, I would place it higher, but it's kind of been power crept over, like, other Pokemon getting access to Brave Bird, so it's still like a good like fighting check, especially stuff that like isn't running like Rock Slide or Thunder Punch or like fighting types are like kind of not expecting it. So it can be great in that regard, and like just come in and like tank any fighting move really as like it quad resists it. The issue is it's not really doing much else versus anything else, so it's just here. And its speed is kind of mid. It's like defenses, attacks. It's just overall just mid overall, which makes it bad. Next we have Oddish. Honestly, I'm kind of big on Oddish. I love Oddish. It's the big reason why I love Oddish is as similar to Bulbasaur, it's like a chlorophyll sweeper, but it isn't just chlorophyll that is a good set for it, as it is bulky enough to like run like just a bulky grass type to like take on water types and whatnot. The biggest issue is that of course it doesn't resist ground since it's poison typing, but it is able to like be like a bulky grass type that doesn't just operate within sun like sort of how Bulbasaur does. The issue with it is like of course there's going to be better grass types within the same like mid-tier price range as Oddish, so it's there. Next we have Paris. Paris's biggest issue is its typing is god-awful, and it is quad weak to both fire and flying, both really common typings within the lookup, so it's just there. He's happy, he's a bug, he's there. Also weak to rocks. It does have access to Spore, but so does other mons that just have better typings than it, so it's D. Next we have Venonat. Venonat is like, you know, similar thing. It's not great, it's not terrible. Compound Ice plus Sleep Powder can be a little bit cheesy fun. But outside of that, it's not exactly amazing. I would say it's better than Paris because it doesn't have any of those quad weaknesses that Paris has, but at the same time, Bug Poison isn't exactly a great typing to write home about either. So it's fine, not great. It's fine. Next we have Diglett. I would put Diglett in A tier. No, I would say Diglett's like high B tier, I think. It did get access to Swords Dance, which can make it threatening. The biggest issue with Diglett is when it comes to Draft League, it is easier to prep for because of its super weak defenses that are very exploitable. And also access to like some Pokemon just running Shed Shell because they can. With the whole issue of the item clause, where each Pokemon, there can only be like 2 per item within your team, it does kind of open up slots to run Shed Shell to handle Diglett for like your Pokemon that would otherwise hate facing Diglett. So that's sort of just why I would put it in B tier. Also, its attack stat isn't huge, so like it requires either Life Orb or a Swords Dance boost to like really be scary, and at that point it can be taken advantage of by a lot of different Pokemon, especially like with good Draft League preppers. So that's kind of why I have Diglett in B tier. Next we have Alolan Diglett. I would say Alolan Diglett, I would put like top of C tier. It's like it loses speed for some reason versus its Cantonian counterpart, which really sucks for it because otherwise I would have it high up as well. Tangly Hair is like an interesting ability. It can like lower the speed, so you can like when your Alolan Diglett dies, you can go into another Pokemon and take it on. Also has access to Sand Force as a way to like for cheesy sand teams, but once again, sand isn't that great, so it's just kind of there. There are better steel types, there are better ground types to take. It's just especially for its price point, which is kind of high. I would say honestly, yeah, like I would actually put it down here below Spearow. Next we have Meowth, regular Cantonian Meowth. Uh, ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, way too expensive, I think. Its technician sets, it's like fake out plus feint is like the big thing that Meowth likes to do. And then after that, it's just there. So it's fast, but it's really expensive and not really worth drafting over a lot of other Pokemon, especially like normal types within the same like tier range. So kind of why I have it so low. Alolan Meow. A tier. I love Alolan Meowth as it is a fast dark type with Parting Shot, and I just think having access to Parting Shot is huge within this meta. There isn't that many Defiant Mons to worry about or competitive Mons, so you are like kind of more freely to spam Parting Shot, especially since Clear Amulet also isn't amazing in low cup compared to like being more useful within like standard draft because of the fact that you'd rather have Berry Juice or Violite on your Pokemon. So with like those two things in mind, being able to spam Parting Shot as well as like having once again like Technician boosted moves, or you don't even really need to run Technician with this mon. It's just like it's clicking knockoff or Dark Pulse or fake out U-turn Parting Shot, that sort of thing. So it's just like overall like a nuisance of a Pokemon. I just think can also like bring a lot of like teams together as like a good Gluemon. Next we have Galarian Meowth. Yeah, I would also put Galarian Meowth in A tier, I think. I was actually like not as high on this Pokemon at first, but ever since like using it a few times, I've become to like respect Galarian Meowth more as a good steel type option. Especially there aren't that many steel types in the tier, and like steel type is still, it's a good typing. It's just it's not exactly required since like due to the lack of like good steel types. So Galarian Meowth being able to like fill in it as a good steel type and having tough claws as an ability as well as like makes it hit really hard and like kind of makes it hard to pivot around so I do kind of like it as like a good like mid to high tier option. Psyduck is D tier. Honestly, these tiers aren't really that ordered that well, but just I don't know why you would draft Psyduck. There's just so many better water Pokemon. Like it's the only niche is like Cloud9, funny fun against Sun teams or Snow teams, but at the same time, if you're going up against Sun teams with Psyduck, you're dying to Grass move, and you can just take a better water type versus Alolan Sandshrew and versus Snow teams anyway and still wall it. So it's just there isn't really a reason to have Psyduck. Next we have Cantonian Growlithe. Let's see. I would put regular Growlithe here in B tier. It's okay. It's like it's okay for its price range. It has access to Intimidate, which is huge, and like it's a bulky fire type, so it can do well within like the for like a fire type Pokemon. It's not exactly required on teams, but at the same time, it's not bad. Like I would, if it's there and like I need a fire type, I wouldn't mind taking Growlithe. So that's kind of why I have a B tier. Doesn't do anything terrific, tremendous, like we must have this Pokemon, but at the same time, it's not just garbage. And it's like it has like a value to it. It's like bulky, Intimidate, Will-O-Wisp sets, so it can still put in work. Hisuian Growlithe. S tier. I do believe that could be a little bit crazy to some people. As it's like it has the same issue as like Paris does, is like it has quad weaknesses to ground and water, so it's a defensive typing profile is bad. However, its offensive profile is nothing switches into it. It's Flare Blitz plus Head Smash plus Rock Head, so it can spam those moves and just take out Pokemon really easily. It has access to Agility, Flame Charge, that sort of thing, so that it can speed boost without needing to run Choice Scarf. At the same time, you can run Choice Scarf and just break through Pokemon really easily as well. So, just Such an amazing Pokemon overall, and the way it kind of just like forces switches so easily when it comes in to allow it to like even get like free agilities up, just makes it so scary. So like if I do like see it there, I wouldn't like I would definitely like look into like drafting this Pokemon. I love using it and I wouldn't mind using it again. Next we got Mankey. Mankey, I do think it is a low A tier mon. It is a valuable fighting type for his price range. He is not too expensive like the Scraggy, Timburr, Galarian, Farfetch'd, Panchams of the world. At the same time, he is able to like perform a decent role without being uh, too expensive. Like it's around like 10 points usually. Mankey is so it's Defiant. It is fast and it has U-turn, and honestly, that's all it needs. And also, its move pool is kind of crazy, so it is able to like hit so many things super effectively. The issue is, of course, is it's very piss poor bulk, and so like you are kind of like forced to run Scarf a lot of times, or you can like run other Mankey sets. I've seen like other Mankey sets as well. Like Scarf isn't the only set it runs, but overall, I just think it does bring good value for its power and speed. Next we got Poliwag. Yeah, Poliwag is kind of too expensive. It can like, I think it's like usually like 6 points, which I still feel is too expensive for Poliwag, as it's just a bad water type, and the only thing it has going for it is speed, and even then, like, you just take a better fast Pokemon than Poliwag, so there really isn't a huge reason you should be drafting Poliwag, outside of like you need speed and you run out of like other options. So here we go, you got Poliwag. Yeah. Abra. I think I would put Abra in B. I think B tier is good for Abra. So originally I used to think that Abra was like C tier based on its price point. Is usually like the most expensive price, like 14. Sometimes it would like drop down to 13, but it's usually like the most expensive, and it's just of the most expensive Pokemon, it's usually the worst of them. But I still have like some respect for Abra, as like it hits really hard, so and it has access to like always living twice with Focus Sash Magic Guard, so it's like outside of like multi-hit moves, it will live a hit and then like be able to like revenge kill something or like hit strong back. It is an amazing revenge killer. My biggest issue I have with Abra is, once again, it is a 2-trick pony of like, or 3-trick pony if like you're running Scarf. It is Sash, Scarf, Life Orb. Those are your 3 Abra sets in any which way, and they're like all easily dealt with in like different ways. As in like Life Orb, you just deal with the Scarfer. Scarf set, you just deal with the Pokemon that can live a hit and then kill it. And then Sash set, you can deal with, you know, live a hit, kill it, a Scarf, that sort of thing. Many people haven't really figured out how to beat Abra. It's just, you need a bulky Pokemon. You need to build a bulky Pokemon that you know can live 2 Abra hits. And like, usually like something that also has access to like Roost or Recover or something. And so you have that, and then you go from there. It's sort of like that's just how you beat Abra usually. And also, Webs is really detrimental for Abra, as like Magic Guard is able to block Hazard Chip, but it doesn't block Webs dropping speed. So once you drop Abra's speed, it's really easily handled. So that's kind of what I just think keeps Abra back from like moving up to like A or S tier. Machop, C tier. It's a fighting type, so I can't just like, I can't put it in D tier because it's an okay fighting type. It's not great though. It's Dynamic Punch. It's like No Guard Dynamic Punch is its like only thing, and then Close Combat is stronger. And with the Confusion nerf, it's just they're still going to hit like through 67% of the time. So it's like, okay, just run Close Combat with a different fighting type then. At that point, so it's just. not great. Its price point is kind of high just due to the fact that it is a fighting type, and fighting is like so huge in Little Cup. So it keeps it here. Bellsprout. I would put Bellsprout honestly with Bulbasaur and Oddish. It is the exact same thing as Bulbasaur, as you would only draft this with Sun. The only thing is it's a cheaper Bulbasaur because it doesn't have the same bulk. So it is going to die a lot easier to a lot more hits. But at the same time, it is going to do a lot of damage as well as doing like very similar things as Bulbasaur does. Tentacool. I would put Tentacool. I would say, yeah, I would put Tentacool B tier. It is a great great spinner. It has amazing special bulk, so it is able to take special hits rather well. Similar to who was it that took physical hits rather well? One of the Pokemon I said, whatever. It's able to take special hits rather well. Oh, Alone the Sandshrew can take physical hits. Okay, but it is able to take special hits rather well. It is also like an amazing berry juice user, as it could take on stuff like Shelter and be able to KO it back as like a good like special attacker. And then also great spinner, good speed and 17 speed, so it is able to like spin rather quickly. Click Skull, click Sludge Bomb, poison type to like block T-spikes. So honestly, I just think it's a good bulky water spinner. Its defense is not great, but its special defense does more than make up for it. Geodude. Honestly, I put Geodude S tier. For some reason, Geodude's always tiered so low. It's like 5, 6, 7 points, and I just think Geodude is definitely worth that. It's definitely great value for that low of value, that low of points. Setting up Stealth Rock, Clicking Sucker Punch, Earthquake, Explosion, Rock Blast. Just Sturdy Juice as well. Also be like a great set for it. It doesn't have to be Sturdy Juice. It could be a Violet. It could be like a different set as well. But Sturdy Juice is usually like the best set for Geodude, as it's like sturdy. And then just being able to just deal so much damage, block electric moves as well, deal a bunch of damage with Earthquake and Stone Edge, Rock Blast, that sort of thing. So, as well as like a great rocker as well. I love Geodude, and I just think like especially for like how low is usually tier, it's an amazing pickup. Alolan Geodude, same thing as regular Geodude, except it is a little bit worse because of the fact that it's not ground, so it doesn't have immunity to electric moves. However, it being electric rock means it is able to better take on physical water types as well as physical grass types. And it also has like stab electric moves, which is pretty cool to take on like hit water types really hard, as well as access to Volt Switch, which like makes it is like a better pivot option. However, it's not the same tier as Geodude in my opinion, because of like of what I just touched on earlier, as well as the fact that I just think Geodude with its typing just makes it a little bit better. Ponyta. If it's available, draft it. Galarian Ponyta. If it's available after Ponyta and maybe like one other Pokemon, I would usually say like Galarian Ponyta is like usually the second or third best Pokemon in Little Cup, because of its ability to do so many different things well, and so it's definitely you should definitely draft it if it's available after like the top Mon has been taken. Quote unquote Ponyta. Slowpoke. I have a lot of issues with Slowpoke. It is an amazing like water type to take with your Sun team, because of its ability to just teleport into your Bulbasaur safely. The issue is you're wasting a lot of Sun turns that way with that, and it's just so awkward otherwise. To take as like a bulky water type that's super slow, so it is like kind of taken advantage of in that regard. And then as well as like it doesn't really hit that hard on the special side. It's like its physical attack for some reason is higher, but it doesn't really have great physical moves compared to its special moves. So you're kind of just stuck running special with like a weaker slowpoke. And it's just its setup isn't great because it's really hard to get slowpoke going. Especially you get knocked off rather easily losing your Violet or Culver Berry or whatever you're running. And then next thing you know is you take too much damage before you can really get set up. It can set Trick Room and be like a anti like speed mons set. However, it's just I have just so many issues with it. With its like slow and like it's bulky but not super bulky. So Galarian Slowpoke. It's like Slowpoke, except it loses its water typing and it loses so much other moves. It is just bad Slowpoke. So I would never take Galarian Slowpoke. I don't think it's ever worth drafting, especially at this price point of like being the mid tier of like 6, 7, 8. Just never draft it. Magnemite. I would say Magnemite's B tier. It's a good like solid Sturdy Juice Pokemon. Its Steel typing is amazing. Being able to take on bird types flying types really well. Just to his like quad resisting Brave Bird, and just Steel Electric it can be great defensively as well as like offensively is pretty good as well. The biggest issue is ground moves kill it. It doesn't exactly have like the most amazing special bulk, so you break Sturdy, then you are able to kind of take it out afterwards. It can also be taken advantage of as its move pool is kind of shallow. Which is like something Magnemite, Magneton, Magnezone all run into. It's just like shallow move pool, so it can be taken advantage of. So it just, it's like because you kind of know what it's running. It's running Electric Move, Volt Switch, Flash Cannon, and Endure, or it could be running Screens if it want. But that's kind of all it's running. So very limited move pool in that regard. Galarian Farfetch. Right now, I would have it in C tier. It's kind of unfortunate, but I used to be really high in Galarian Farfetch, but as I've like played the tier more and gotten better at it, I realized how many pit traps this Pokemon has. It's not fast enough, so it requires webs to be good. And for its price point of being like really high tiered, like probably like the third highest tiered fighting type behind Timber and Scraggy, it's just not that great. It's like a huge drop off between it and Timber that is just, it gets wider and wider the more I play this tier and get better at it. So I just have like so many issues with it. So I just think it's really high priced. So it's not exactly the best mon to take. You kind of just get stuck with it. Honestly, I would skip it for Pancham a lot, as like Pancham should be like similar price point or a little bit cheaper. And it just, Pancham is a little bit bulkier, doesn't hit as hard, but has like better abilities. Though Scrappy is really nice, but like Mold Breaker and Iron Fist, and just like also like more coverage. Though I do love Leak, Galarian Farfetch, because it's just fun to crit things. Doduo. I'd say also C tier. Actually, no, I'll put it like bottom of B. It's ever since like we kind of shifted over to allowing all like Nat decks all cut moves, it's like gotten better. So like having access to Jump Kick and Return Again does make it better. And like also its speed is still really good, like 18 speed, so you're outspeeding everything that's 17, which is pretty huge. The issue is like there's a bunch of like other flying types within similar price point that does like a lot of the same thing. It's just like a little bit faster or a little bit stronger. So it's just, it kind of leaves Doduo in like no man's land of like, should you draft it? Of like, well, there's other flying types around this area that are just as good, if not better than Doduo. So it kind of just leaves it in like no man's land of being drafted or not. Seal. Issue is water type are everywhere, and there are better bulky water types in Seal. So I would just kind of place it. I would say, yeah, it's D tier. Grimer, love Grimer. Love, love, love me some Grimer. I would say, yeah, I'd say top of A. It's amazing ability Sticky Hold. It is an amazing poison type as well. It's like Trubbish, but a little bit bulkier, but it trades that bulk for being slow. So it's not, and it doesn't really have access to spikes either, so it doesn't have the same utility that Trubbish has, but it hits hard. It's bulky and slow, though, but it hits hard. It's a good poison type overall. I think a great mon to draft. I would say, like, especially for its price point being like mid-high tier, definitely worth. Alolan Grimer, it's like Grimer but better because it is a dark type. So knockoff being stab, access is Shadow Sneak as well. It's just, and just like poison dark is such an amazing typing, really only having one weakness to ground and otherwise like being really annoying to take on. It does trade in its like resistances to fighting, but at the same time you're still hitting really hard. You still have like good bulk as like a Grimer, and so I think it's fine to lose those resistances if you're like getting the dark typing. Shellder, I would say, I'd say top of B. This is going off the fact that Berry Juice is allowed. If Berry Juice wasn't allowed, it would be S tier off of, or just like should be banned. Because without Berry Juice, Shellder is very, very threatening. Because it is able just to break through even a Violet Mons. But if there's Berry Juice, then Shellder is like more easily handled. And it's just, it is like the best Shell Smash water type. At the same, however, it is also like tough to get set up. It needs a lot of support, and then at the end of the day, it is getting blown back by any special attacker, with or without setup. So with or without the defense drop. So it's just like you really need to like pick and choose how you want to sweep with it. So it does make it really awkward in that regard. Ghastly, it should be banned. If it's not banned, they should definitely take it. Pick one. Onyx. I love Onyx. I used to put this Pokemon like S or A tier. However, its attack set is garbage. But having access to Dragon Dance can kind of help make up for it. And like Sturdy Juice, as well as like Weak Armor or Rock Heads. Like, it has 3 great abilities it can take advantage of. So you kind of have to be careful when facing it. The biggest issue, of course, is once again, its attack stat. So you can take advantage of it with just other ground types. And as well as like just like burn it, and then you just have a Pokemon that's just really bulky, and that's about it. I do love Onyx on like the way like it is a great rock setter into Explosion to like stop spinners from coming in and spinning on you. So I do like it in that regard, but it's not amazing. It's not terrible, but it's just not amazing either. So I would just put it in like bottom of B tier. Drowsy. Yeah, I would say C tier. Yeah, I would put it C tier below Squirtle. It's a mid tier, but at the same time, it's just like I've seen it drafted a lot and like very mixed results. Like I've used it a couple times. It's just very meh. It's there's a reason why it's like it's priced as how it is. It can like maybe surprise some people, but at the same time, it's just not really worth bringing a lot. So it's just a bulky Pokemon that isn't that bulky. Krabby. Krabby is like Shellder, I would say, but a little worse. I used to also like drafting Krabby a lot as like the dual crab core of like Krabby Corphish. Corphish being like able to like break for Krabby, or Krabby being able to break for Corphish. Issue is Krabby kind of has to run Agility if it wants to be good, same way how like Shellder has to run Shell Smash, but Shell Smash is just better than Agility. And at the same time, it's like Shellder is like its special bulk is just not fair, plus its physical bulk is good. Not as good as Shellder's, but it is good. So it's like it's just a worse Shellder overall, and like similar price points to where like you don't really want to draft it. Voltorb, I would say Voltorb is A tier, just for the fact that its base speed is 20 and it is a really good screen setter. Issue with Voltorb is if you have ground type, then Voltorb is stopped because it doesn't have a way to hit ground types outside of like Signal Beam. So it's very bad in that regard, but at the same time, for its price point, it's like very low, like mid to low tier for its price point. So it's definitely worth picking up, I think, because it is just fast and could be a nuisance to teams that like don't have a good ground type. Hisuian Voltorb. It is S tier because it is Voltorb except with grass moves, so it can hit ground types. And that's all that matters. Execute. I think Execute is like... I like drafting Execute as like an anti-Sun because you can really beat up Bulbasaur and like punish people for having Sun and just like take out their Bulbasaur. And then now you have a Sun Sweeper Execute on your team to take out just to counter sweep the Sun team. Outside of that, not really great. It does have great physical bulk and is able to take on ground types rather well. But outside of that, it's just not amazing. 4 times weakness to U-turn really holds it back, but Grass's Psychic could be good offensively. Cubone. I'd say C tier. Yeah. Thick Club is great. You lose your Thick Club and then you are a useless Pokemon. And you are kind of slow anyways, so you kind of require webs a lot more than Galarian Farfetch requires webs. So honestly, I would just put you below Galarian Farfetch. Actually, no, you're like priced better. You're like mid tier, so like you're still better in that regard, but still same issues. Lickitung, honestly, I would put Lickitung in A tier. It's not really drafted a lot. I see like it's usually left undrafted, but it's like a mid to high tier, like 9-8 points, and like being a bulky normal, being able to pass wishes, and like a few times that wish is actually good, and like click body slam and just paralyze everything. It's just an annoying curse set as well. It's just, it is there to be annoying and just take on everything all at once without really caring, so it makes it great in that regard. Coughing, easily S tier. This S tier is not really ordered, but probably the best fighting check. 2 great abilities in Levitate, making it immune to ground types, as well as neutralizing gas, making stuff like Sun Sweepers, Snow Sweepers, or just useless, as well as Rockhead, like Hisuian Galarian useless, or like, you know, Moxie Sweepers as well, speed boost users. It's just, it come in, you just stop, you get rid of all abilities. So a lot of Pokemon that really depend on their abilities. So like being able to just like come in and get rid of it and just be a very bulky poison type is just amazing for it. Rhyhorn. Honestly, it is more powerful Onix, but slower and less bulky. So yeah, that's why it's C tier. Tangela should be banned. Goldeen, S tier. Goldeen is like the premier ground type of not being a ground type because of its immunity to electric moves, and that is it. It also have access to Mega Horn, Flip Turn, Knockoff. It's just great move, like great move pool, and an amazing ability. Horsey, bad Rain Sweeper. Staryu, honestly, I would say like Staryu is A tier. It's really expensive, which kind of like makes me shy away from drafting it, but at the same time, it's like the best. It's the premier water spinner, as well as like having so many different sets it can run. It can run bulky. It can run like just like I'm going to kill you with analytic. It can run natural cure, just like take on like those Thunderwave or Will-O-Wisp spammers. And so it's just it's able to just like be like so good at like so many different things. It's just really hard to like come in like, how are you going to take this on? So the biggest issue I have with Staryu, of course, is if you're running offensively, you're like giving up its defensive bulk. If you're running defensively, you're usually giving up its speed or offense capabilities, and it's just like you're like trading one for another. It can't really do great at both. So it's just like, how do you want to use it? But at the same time, it can be used for so many different ways that it doesn't matter. Scyther. Magikarp is a meme pick. It is a splash and tackle and hydro pump and flail. I think those are his 4 moves. So have fun with that. Eevee, honestly, A tier. Adaptability is huge, especially for being a low tier Pokemon. It is a great value for its low tier, as it is able to just like, especially if you're facing teams that don't have great normal resists, you can run quick attack plus last resort and just blow through teams. So yeah, it's just it's amazing in just being very simple, great normal type. Porygon should be banned. Omanyte, it is a, I think it is a better Shell Smash sweeper than Squirtle, so I would put it in B tier because it is able to just break through all of like things that you think should check it, just because it's sky high special attack stat, and as well as access to Meteor Beam, and I love Meteor Beam, so yeah, there we go, bonus points. Dratini, I would say bottom of B tier. Yeah, bottom of B tier. It does have like access to E speed, which is huge, as like not many look-up Pokemon have access to E speed and are legal. Looking at U6 again. So having access to E speed is huge. Outspeeding like all like the +1 priority bracket with +2 priority, and then as well as Dragon Dance sets, Shed Skin, Shed Skin, to be able to like just like you get paralyzed, so you get Shed Skin it, you can rest and then like hope that Shed Skin procs. Kind of more iffy with Dratini as it's not as bulky as something like Scraggy. But also a great, amazing move pool as a Gen 1 Pokemon, and so you can run special, you can run in physical, and just like it has a great stab either way, though its physical stab is like I think Outrage, so you kind of have to be more careful with that. But overall, just an amazing like, just like so many different ways you can run it. The big issue I have with it, of course, is it's just bulk is super lacking, and its speed is mid to the point where you need a Dragon Dance before you can become a threat. Kabuto, I would put honestly in S tier. I love Kabuto. I think it is an amazing spinner. It can be ran as like a rain sweeper sometimes if you like want to run like manual rain dance on one of your mons to bring in Kabuto. Click Meteor Beam and then just sweep through a team rather easily. Access to Aqua Jet, good defense, great defense like Omanyte. Like it's similar to Omanyte except it's like not as like super powerful like one stat sort of like Omanyte is, so like that makes Kabuto like easily able to be ran both physical and special. And then once again, access to Rapid Spin is huge. Weak armor can make it scary. It's just like, I just love Kabuto as just like one of my favorite spinners, and its price point is also really nice. It is never priced super high. It is always like mid to high tier, like maybe like 8, 9, 10 range. So definitely worth picking up. I do think Kabuto is an amazing value pick. Alright, yeah, that is my tier list for Gen 1. It's definitely going to be like one of the longer ones compared to like my later tier list, especially since like there are 69 different Pokemon, nice, that I went through here. So if I miss one, do let me know. I will like retcon it in comments later if I have missed one, but this is my tier list. Of course, once again, this is opinionated. If you don't like it, if you think some Pokemon deserve to be higher tier, lower tier, etc., do let me know in the comments below. I would love to see what you guys think, especially what you think of, like, will I have an S tier? Is there like any Pokemon that, like, maybe you like never drafted, but then you saw this, like, hey, maybe I want to draft this Pokemon. So yeah, do let me know. I love your guys' feedback. I love Little Cup in general. Oh, sorry, let me go down to the D tier. Yeah, you guys never saw that. So yeah, this is the tier list. I can also zoom out a little bit here. I'm just going to zoom out just like, there we go. 50%. There's your tier list. Alright, so that is the tier list. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone who like it gave me the support after like I stopped uploading for a little while. It's just like Draft League has been like rough for me in general, so I'm happy just like to do this. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but it kept running into issues while trying to record this, and then life got busy. So I'm happy to be back and doing this, and I will catch y'all next week for Gen 2. Thank y'all so much for watching. Peace.